Oh, boom. We're doing dual phones today, so just so you know, we're recording live, obviously, on Scrumptious Creole Kitchen. And what's yours?
This is just JuVan Langford's main page.
And by the way, this is my special guest, JuVan Langford. I'm just finishing the mint in my mouth because I'm
She smells really good, don't worry.
I've been sweating. It's hot AF outside, and I'm also sweating because I'm so fucking excited to be here with you. We haven't
Back
seen
again.
each other. I know. I'm so
Back
excited.
again.
We've come so far.
I know.
Just in the last time we've seen each other. High five.
Crushing it.
Crushing it as usual. So this is my guest. I'm going to read a little bio from JuVan. Is a men's empowerment coach and global speaker and founder of Choose Higher International, a worldwide transformation program for men. He's also the creator of the MENtour, a mentorship program that currently reaches over 175 middle school boys in a monthly program in Los Angeles. An internationally recognized social influencer and community builder, he also develops preschools in East African villages and in South America. JuVan is committed to creating community and conversations that teach people how to live and lead their best lives. By the way, this is the Kitchen Table Talk Show, presented by Scrumptious Creole Kitchen. I'm Lauren Clayton, the founder of Scrumptious Creole Kitchen. And this is JuVan.
Yeah,
yes.
Creole.
Yes, Creole.
Creole.
So, JuVan, you've done so much. I feel like everything, the underlying current of everything is inspiring people and helping people be their highest and best, whether through mentorship or all these different things. But what would you say your major life experiences are that brought you to where you are now, what you're doing?
Wow, there's been I say a series of experiences that I've been through in my life that have definitely supported me in becoming the man I am today and will be in the future. I think maybe just some broad strokes is really not having a dad. My father passed away when I was young, and that was a really big part of my story. And how I share how that influences how I show up in the world, how I show up in every room and every relationship. And I think not having a dad is something that's more common than we understand in this world, whether you be black, white, Latino, Asian, Australian, African, Indian. There are a lot of households where boys are growing up without fathers. And it influences how we show up, it influences our confidence, it influences our communication skills, it influences our emotional intelligence and how we are able to communicate and connect with other people.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely influenced me a lot. For me, it was a big part of my identity challenge, right? I think identity is such a big conversation that men specifically are challenged with. And so I feel a big part of my story and my experience is based around that. Another piece is being raised by a single mom. My grandmother raised me since I was 4 years old. So I got this wisdom, this I won't say ancient because she'll choke me, but this seasoned wisdom that was instilled in me super early. So I was like this kid that was super bright and super young. So I was kind of knowing, if you will. And some people may call it an indigo child or just a smart kid. And so I was very quiet. I had this wisdom and I couldn't really connect with people. I always had older friends and I always hung with the adults in the living room or at the dinner table. And so I was felt like the oddball out. So a big part I think was really having no dad and being raised by an older woman. Really supported how I show up in the world has made me, I think, a compassionate person. Or what I mean by that is someone who I actually care about people. Like I love people, I love connecting people, I love holding space where I can really support them in their personal and professional lives. And then not having a dad identity, it's caused me to get creative and know how to be in an environment I learned because we moved a lot as a kid. What I would do is we go to a new neighborhood, we move into the house, and I would go find my people in the community. I would quickly make friends so I had a sense of identity.
Right.
I didn't know this till more recently, and so I think those are two big life events that have really shifted me personally and professionally.
So, and that's why a lot of your endeavors are focused specifically on men and the development of men, or like with your program that is the mentorship program for middle school boys.
Yep.
It's because of that. Because I talk about this a lot just in general on this show, your pain becomes your purpose.
Yes.
And so, or you could just let it be your pain or your story that why you're a victim, or your pain becomes your purpose. And then you help heal yourself and heal others.
Absolutely.
So.
I think, people ask me why just men, and I've endeavored to dive into working with women now directly. But why I chose to work with men is not specifically because of that. It's actually because of what I witnessed as a kid. I witnessed so many women in the community not having support. So I grew up in a household where there were no men. I have 4 sisters, a grandmother and an aunt, who who were really around me. And all I heard was how shitty men were, on how they didn't show up, on how they weren't dependable, on how they didn't provide. And I thought, man, I don't want to be one of those things.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those guys. I don't want to be a guy.
Yeah.
So I navigated naturally to spending a lot of time with women. I had girlfriends and I had girlfriends, and that was my comfort zone. So I grew very soft or very gentle or feminine, and I felt a lot of comfort and safety in that. And I didn't know how to shift, or what I would say maybe style flex into the masculine, into the feminine. So I've learned that, I've observed that through men, through going to workshops and trainings and taking on mentors and stuff, on how to really embody and embrace both sides of that spectrum. But a lot of the reason why I work with men is because I realize that they are the ones that are controlling and leading the world. They're the leaders, in families and in communities. But a lot of these men are dysfunctional. And their dysfunction causes them to be at war within themselves, and most men don't go within. So they never address the war, and they make everybody in their business, in their family, in their friend circle responsible for the stuff that they're unwilling to do, and that's an issue. Which is why I said, okay, instead of us trying to fix the at 30,000 foot issues, let's get to the root of the issue, and it's really the dysfunction of men. This is why I chose to work with men.
Absolutely. And I also agree that the masculine, whatever that, you don't have to, your anatomy could be whatever it is, but the masculine energy is the leading energy. And so speaking, that kind of goes into my next question. What's your definition of like a man or masculine energy?
Yeah. This is such a big question. What's the definition of a man?
For you.
I know. I've been asked this a lot, obviously, because I know I work with men. But really, a man is a vulnerable, authentic, and powerful individual. Vulnerability, authenticity, and power is how I would define a man. Vulnerability, because you can't be an authentic person if you don't first drop into this space. And most people are in their mind. They're analytical, they're transactional, they're trying to get things done. I got to pick up the kids, I got to go to work, I got to go to the gym, everything's a have to.
Well, there's a time and a place for that, for sure.
There's a time and a place for that, but so few of us have the tools to be able to say to myself, okay, what does this moment require of me? This moment requires me to be in my feminine energy. This moment requires me to be in my masculine. So what I've understood is that it's important for me to build those two muscles at the same time, And whereas I was so comfortable in the feminine, I've learned to really embrace the masculine and be good going to the gym and pumping weights with my friends and building healthy relationships with men. I never really did that. So it's something I'm learning and I'm growing into, as I get older and as I mature in my personal development and social skills.
Even just from the last time I saw you, which is maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, there's like a big transformation. Because I know that, we all have our growing edge, and that was definitely your growing edge, is like developing, real connections with men. And,
for sure.
And so it just seems like already it's very palpable that that's changed. And I do agree with that. I think like when you're at work, that's the more masculine kind of energy type of thing, and some people don't know how to switch especially I'm speaking more about women. When you're at work, being work is masculine. If you're the feminine energy in your personal relationship, you have to switch out of that mode.
For sure.
And I think a lot of, especially my clients, they don't know how to switch out of that, and that doesn't mean, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, like mothering is masculine. You're providing and protecting, and so when it with your partner, and you're the feminine energy, you want to move into that feminine. But it takes a lot of not introspection, but also just awareness.
For sure.
So I think that's such a good quality to have.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. What inspires you? Who inspires you?
What inspires me? So many things. I want to go back because I want to answer your question fully. So I said vulnerability is important, right? In order to become authentic, you got to be vulnerable. Yes. So vulnerability is a key component. Vulnerability is just speaking your truth. And how you know you're being vulnerable is, one way I gauge it is by how much I allow people to see into me. Right? Some people will, hey, nice to meet you, but they'll deflect, because if I look too long into you, you're going to see some shit that I'm not ready for you to see. You're going to see some things I'm not even ready to see myself. So I can't let you too close in. So you got to be vulnerable. And then in this vulnerability, I can authentically communicate with you on who I am and what I need. And from that place, I'm in my power. Right. And if you practice that enough, everybody you engage with, whether it be in a business meeting, whether it be family or lover, the relationship shift because people feel safe with you.
Right.
And I feel, that's a lot of the feedback that I get back from people is I feel safe. If I had $1 for every time I heard, I've never shared this with anybody before.
Yes, me too.
Or I don't know why I'm saying this right now. I don't know where this is coming from. If I had $1 from any of those phrases, I'd be a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what I realize is that I have opened up so much more space and room for people to share with me because I've first gone there with myself. So to be a man is to be vulnerable, is to be authentic, and to be powerful, to stand in and communicate from your power. What inspires me? What inspires me? People. Mm-hmm. People inspire me. I'm so inspired by people. I love connecting with, meeting new people. I love being a part of communities, going to events, Burning Man, community events, dinner parties. I love hosting dinner parties myself. That inspires me to gather. Why? Because it's the connection. Connection inspires me, right? My number one core value, my top 3 core values are autonomy, because I love coming and going as I please on my time and on my dime. We talked about this recently. We were just laughing about this. You know, I became an entrepreneur because I don't like being told what to do. I don't like a boss. I have an issue and that I'm working with as it pertains to authority, right? We all have our challenges. So for me, I love the autonomy. The second thing is impact. That inspires me to be able to go to the Dominican Republic on an annual basis and to be able to feed and clothe thousands of kids. To be able to go to Africa and build clean water wells, to be able to go to Guatemala with, We Journey and to be able to refurbish schools, like that inspires me so much. I get to come back reinvigorated and reinvent myself so I can create a deeper impact. And then the last core value is community. Mm-hmm. Anytime I can build community or create content that builds community or start a conversation that builds community, mm-hmm. I'm all for it.
It sounds like being in contribution.
Contribution
is a big thing.
Yeah, that encompasses it pretty much.
Yeah, it makes you feel good. It's a good synergy when that happens.
It is.
So I'm just gonna say this. I think I know. So you think goals or it's important to have goals?
Goals. This may go against some of the things I've said before previously, but I don't believe in goals. I believe in specific achievements, because goals are something that you write down. Mm-hmm. Specific achievements, they require a few things. One is urgency, right? AKA deadline. Definitely. Destiny loves a deadline. So if you don't set a deadline, it's not a goal. A goal is just something that you desire to experience. Yeah. It's an idea. A lot of people have ideas. I think they have businesses, but they really have ideas.
True.
Right? And so I like specific achievements. So I'll set something up for this year. For example, one thing I've always wanted to do is author a book. And this last few months, I've been tiptoeing in this writing process. Am I going to self-publish? Am I going to find a publisher? Am I going to do a book deal? Am I going to do an ebook? Am I going to do an audio book? And I'm going back. I'm like, you know what? Wow, how quick we are to create confusion. Because from confusion, we get to say, oh, I don't know. And from I don't know means I don't have to do shit.
Right.
And I realized, okay, let me just take a few steps back. I'm creating a book because, one, it lives beyond me. And I'm big on legacy. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, we are, yeah.
Secondly, I create a book because it's in this world, you've become an expert. You have a book, you become an expert. So I really am committed to becoming an expert as it pertains to empowerment, as it pertains to personal development, as it pertains to really living and leading your best life. And so that's a big part of it. And the third reason I'm writing a book is because I love to write. I just enjoy the creative process. I'm a creative. I'm a businessman, but I love creativity. I'm very colorful, and I can be black and white too. So those are the big things that really excite me, and I think it really inspires me to be able to really give in that capacity,
And so you don't have goals, but you have things that you're inspired to do,
yes.
and so how do you make sure they get done?
How to make sure I get done? So two ways that I get done. I create what's called an LOA, a letter of agreement, each year. I usually work in this one around December 15th. But I set these specific achievements throughout the year, and I put them in quarterly.
So a letter of agreement to yourself?
Yes, to myself. So this is for me. It's on my wall. It's on my computer as a PDF, and it's also on my phone, so I can always refer back to it. And I can't tell you the gifts that have come into my space as a result of being specific. Specificity, the law of specificity. If you get nothing from this Facebook Live,
so true.
Get the law. Look up the law of specificity. It's powerful. The more specific you can become about anything. Not the more specific. Being specific shifts everything in your life. So
and then feeling it specific, like how would that feel, whatever it is that you want?
It becomes real.
Yeah, that's the signal that you draw out that pulls that shit in.
Yeah, it pulls it in big time. And it's kind of like the universe just has all these things flowing to you, God, Mother Nature, however you want to put it. All these things are flowing. And when you say, no, I want the blue things, all the red, yellow, green, purple things flow away, and all the blue things, the blue cars, the blue problems, the blue, then you get a little more specific, right? I want the positive blue things, and all the negative blue things start floating, or the bad, or the uncomfortable. And it's powerful if you can just really focus your energy and all of that.
And what happens when you really want something, but you're like, I don't know if I could get it, I don't know, like, but then you focus on it again, then you're like, oh, what happens?
Yeah, well then that's what shows up. Some of it will come and it will flitter away. It will come as you ebb and flow, it will ebb and flow to you. And so for me, it's specificity is the first thing. The second thing is accountability. And the way I keep myself accountable is by having deadlines. And also having people who keep me accountable. So I'm a part of a couple of masterminds.
Yes.
So I'm very selective with my relationships. We were talking off camera just a moment ago about there are some people in our lives that we connect with and we think we're going to be in a relationship with them forever. Like this is my homie, or this is my homegirl. I love her. Like I do anything for her. And then life shows up. And then there's a moment where you realize that this person was only here for a reason or for a season, or this person is not really qualified to be in my life. And because I'm choosing unqualified people, I'm being disqualified from other opportunities. I can't tell you how many things I've missed out on because of the relationships I was choosing to be in. Whether it was a love, a romantic relationship, a platonic relationship, I've literally have lost by choosing to surround myself by losers. And it's not that they're physically losers, but they're not wanting to win the way that I am wanting to win.
And then
it's different.
We're talking about sometimes people are in your circle, but
not in your corner.
So think about that.
Yeah, that's a big one. And so I've learned that, and here's the thing for me when it comes to goals. I feel that if you don't take a different approach, then you won't get anything different. So I call it a specific achievement because specificity is a big thing, and it's something I'm looking to achieve. A goal, it seems like something I'm just trying to like. It isn't. A goal seems so small to me. You know, it seems so small, but a specific achievement is bigger. And if you're not moving in the direction of something bigger than you, then I don't consider that fun. I don't consider that interesting. And that's just my personal experience.
I love it. And so, would you mind sharing some of your when you made your letter of agreement this past December?
Yeah.
What are some of the things you had on there?
That's good. Well, that's a good question. I'm getting spicy over here, a little Creole spice. Some of my specific achievements. One was to live 3 months out of the country. And what I said is I wanted to live I wanted to make money living out of the country for a quarter out of the year. So I wanted to set myself up to be able to make money and live out the country, which I did. I lived in Australia for 3 months, which was an amazing experience. And that was great. Another specific achievement was to provide an international experience for me and my mom to bond. And so last year I got my mother a passport. I took her to the Dominican Republic for 5 days. We went island hopping with the water, and I actually took my sister along with us too, which was a phenomenal experience. Another specific achievement that I put on there was to create a fund for student athletes raised by single moms. And so last year, of course, because I was super specific, I went home for my high school reunion, and I walked to the front door, and the principal came out, and the headmaster, and they greeted me, and they walked me to the office, and I asked them, what's new, what's going on? And they had on this desk a list of all these different students who were about to actually, get kicked out of the school because they didn't have the funds. Oh. And so I asked them, I was like, so what do they need? And they threw some numbers at me and told me what the vision was. I said, I'm going to start a foundation here. I'm going to start a legacy program. I want to call it the Langford Legacy. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. So now I started a fund for my school that I went to my high school. Oh. So now every year a student athlete gets to have that scholastic experience because of the scholarship. So I'm really like stuff like that. It's just so crazy when you're specific. Like the opportunities just come to you, and it will position you to be able to create the things you say that you desire.
Love it. Any other ones that you haven't? You're on.
You're in the process
of achieving?
Yes, that's a good question. So yeah, I'm in the process. One is my book.
Yeah.
So my book, working on the book, a big part of my journey has been developing relationships relationships has been a huge part. Mentors in my life, family, romantic relationships has been very important that I be selective and not just select people for my life and for my journeys. I think of it like the board of directors. All of us should have a board of directors that we can refer to, that can lean in, whether it's a spiritual mentor, financial mentor, emotional mentor, just mentality, you know, a mentor you have in your life. And for me right now, I'm working on a book, and this is my first book that I'm super stoked about, because this book's going to change a lot of the way that men and women choose to interact with each other. I've become very good with people. I've been told that I'm charismatic and that I have a great smile and that I'm good with people, and it's not none of that. It's really some foundational principles that I follow and didn't even know that I was following. So I've sat down and like wrote out those foundational principles on how to show up as an authentic person, how to not be vulnerable, but to embody vulnerability, so that I can be in my power and experience all the things I desire for my life. So my book is around relational wealth, and it's coming out the top of the year. So that's going to happen, and I will sell 5,000 copies in the first 90 days, and it'll be a bestseller within a year.
What's relational wealthness or wealthiness?
Relational wealth is...
Relational wealth.
Yeah, relational wealth to me is really learning how to develop deep and meaningful relationships with people where there's a mutually beneficial exchange. And so for me, a lot of us will lean into relationships because we need things, but it's about learning how to, hey Lauren, let's go hang out and grab lunch. I don't need anything from you.
Exactly.
I just want to know what you're creating, and if there's anything I can do to support you. We never do that, or so few of us do that, or so little we do that.
Or when you do for people, they're like confused, and I'm like, no, I'm just, You know,
and it's not about manipulation. It's really about depth. And I feel like I've spent a lot of my life going a mile long, but an inch deep with people. And so this last 18 months, I've shifted that, and I've pulled back on a lot of relationships that I've chosen to be a part of. And I've gone an inch long and a mile deep in my life, literally, financially, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, physically, has shifted completely because of those small choices. It doesn't have to be a huge shift, but it's small choices that shift everything for me, you know? And I think more people should learn how to express and explore themselves, or explore and express themselves, and everything shifts. My life's a reflection of that.
And you created space for and safety for you to be able to do that within yourself.
Yes, and to speak into that, most people think, and if you guys are listening right now, most people think that you need more time. I need more time to get a better job. I need more time to find love. I need more time. It's not time. It's about room. It's about space. You don't need more time, you need more room. And what I've learned is that when you create a box and you write down all the things that you're experiencing, all the things that are impacting or influencing your life, and then you can attack one of them. Learn what's the issue here, what's underneath this, right? And then reframe that story. It's no longer in the box the way it used to be. And in that space, in that area, you have space to breathe, to connect. You know? So it's about clearing that space so that you can explore, so you can express yourself in a way that you can be seen and heard by the right people. You know, a lot of us just don't have the wherewithal on who we are and how we're showing up in a room or in a relationship. We don't realize that we're annoying, or that we talk too much, or we talk too long, or we don't connect with people, or we're needy, or we're transactional. You don't even know, because you don't have people in your life who care enough about you to communicate that to you. So we need room. We need room, and I'm always open and looking, how can I create more room in my life?
I love it.
Yeah.
And so what is your definition of happiness?
Alignment. Alignment. I know I'm happy when I'm aligned. You know, I went to Africa last year with a group of friends, and I got an opportunity. We were in Tanzania, and I got an opportunity to sit down with some of the kids there and like talk to them. We had a translator. They were talking and sharing, and they were asking us questions. And these kids didn't want anything but to hold my hand. And I looked in their eyes, and a lot of them, because of the poor drinking situation, the waters that's there, a lot of them have, I can't think of the name of the jaundice. They have jaundice in their eyes, so it's like brown rings around their eyes and like yellow veins. It's so sad to see them. And they have these, because they have beautiful brown skin, they have, you know, their teeth look extremely white. You know, they have dark, almost blue skin, beautiful skin. And as they're talking to me, I looked in their eyes, and there was this one girl that I was sitting with on the I'm about to get emotional just thinking about this. But I was sitting on this little tree stump, and I was sitting with her, and she's looking at me, and she's just like playing with my hands. She's on my fingers, and she's like moving them around, and she's twisting my ring, and she's looking at me and looking up at me, and my eyes just start boiling with tears, and she's looking at me, and she stops, and she's just like, and for the first time in my life, I saw joy. And I realized that the difference between happiness and joy is that joy is contingent upon what's happening internally, and happiness is contingent upon what's happening externally. And I've so shifted since this is October last year. I've shifted on wanting to be happy. I don't want to be happy. I want joy, because I know I'm in control of that. You know, and so much of us focus on the happiness around us and not the joy within us, and that's been a huge shift for me. And so, joy is alignment. Happiness is alignment too, but it's really joy that I'm seeking.
Oh yeah, joy, bliss, love are the highest vibrational states. And so yeah, you're talking about being not even just content and aligned. And aligned is when you have that deep sense of those higher vibrational feelings.
Absolutely.
Yes, I love it. And so what are you most proud of so far that you've done in your life, JuVan?
What am I most proud of? When you shot me the questions, I was looking at this and I skipped over this question because I was like, oh, I'll figure it out. But you know what? This is something I haven't really thought about. I've spent being raised by a single mother who often communicated in the future. One day, baby, we're gonna, and in the future, and next Christmas and next birthday, she often spoke in the future. And so my mind's often, I'm a forward-thinking person, forward-thinking man. And so what I'm most proud of, I think, is what I'll leave behind. I'm most proud of my willingness, that I'm a willing participant in my own journey, in my own rescue. I'm most proud of the legacy that I'm creating that will be left and live beyond me. That's perhaps I think I'm most proud of. I'm proud that I'm a willing participant. I'm doing the work. I'm getting up and I'm pushing through despite the circumstances. Like a lot of the things, I haven't figured out anything. I'm just willing. And some have a strong will, but most have a strong won't. They won't.
There's a stronger won't, for sure.
There's a stronger won't.
And in my coaching practice, it's getting rid of that won't that's, overshadowing or eclipsing what they're willing to do or wanting to do.
For sure. I have a mentor of mine, one of my mentor friend, I guess she's one of my girlfriends, but she's the definition of joy. She told me, she goes, you have to be conscious of what robs you of your joy. Be conscious of what robs you of your joy. She told me a story, and it's too long to share here, but the moral of this story is that when you're in a position where you don't have clarity of mind and you don't know where you're going, ask yourself, what is robbing me of my joy? And a lot of what was robbing me of my joy, being raised in foster care, losing my dad, a mother who struggled with drugs, experiencing abuse, like those things affected me, and I'm working through. I'm not over them. I'm living above them, but I'm not. There's nothing to get over. It stays with you. But what she told me is that understand what's robbing you, and then take it and put it in the light. She said, put it in the light. Put it in the light. And at first I didn't get it, but as I sat with it long enough, what she was saying to me, anything that sits in the dark, that you're afraid or refuse, or you delay or deny, putting in that light, it controls you.
It does.
It controls how you show up. It controls your vulnerability, your authenticity. It keeps you from your power. It robs you consistently. Her name is Agape. Agape, I love you if you're watching. I'm sure she'll see this at some point, but we love you, Agape. So thankful for our relationship, our friendship. I thank you. I'm so thankful for those moments like that. And it's moments like that that remind me that I'm right where I belong. I'm right where I belong. And for anybody who's watching this and you feel that you are, struggling with something, you can't get there, or like timing is off, or those are all stories. It's getting clear there's something right now in this moment that's robbing you of your joy. And if you can't be honest enough with yourself in the circumstances that you're up against, it'll continue to do so. It'll eat you alive, literally.
And it could be little things or big things. Like in my last episode with Coach Steven Griffith, he talks about, is it contributing or contaminating your life? And contaminating sounds like this big, scary, caustic. I'm not talking about, drinking arsenic, that type of thing, although that would be one of the things. But is something contributing to your well-being? Is it raising your consciousness? Is it raising every part of your life, your health, wealth, and your relationships? Or is it detracting? Because there really is no middle ground. If you're stagnant, you're going down. You know what I mean? So you need to always be, so it's so important. It sounds kind of intense, but in everything you do, in me texting this person, and me watching TMZ, or playing Angry Birds, or eating the highest and best organic foods, like what is contributing and what's contaminating my life? And when you even just bring that into your consciousness, just all this stuff that doesn't serve you will drop away, or stuff that could be coming in, it will just go away. So I think that's why I love being around people that understand that, because it's kind of like they continue to evolve. And I will answer this question that I am most proud of you, JuVan, in the time that I've known you, for really like showing up, and like every day and like every week and month I see your posts. And by the way, follow him on JuVan Langford on Instagram, and because your posts are amazing. Like, I mean, it's just kind of like the way some of the stuff you write, I'm like, that is a good fucking way to say that. I mean, it really is. And I'm like, yes. And I just, I've shared it on some of our different shows. But anyway, what I'm really proud of you is like just being this, like the fullest expression of yourself. I really think that every human being, that's what we're here to do. I think that's the agreement that we made before we came here, is to be the fullest expression of ourselves and be a channel for this, creative, like higher energy, and express it. And by doing that, we're just being ourselves, and we naturally heal ourselves and heal other people and inspire people. So it's just a really, really high vibrational and inspiring state to be in, and all you're doing is being yourself. This full expression of yourself.
It's thank you.
You're welcome.
First and foremost, I received that, and it's something I've worked consciously on over the course of years. What I've learned is that if I don't take this on, that I pass it on. And one of my, if you were to ask me another one of my specific achievements, one of those is becoming a dad. Really fathering a boy or a girl, or many of them, right? 2 boys, 2 girls. But to really bring those kids into the world. So I have this unapologetic and relentless energy that lives within me to really understanding this, like what's happening in all this, and not worrying about what they have to say, but like how do I work this so that I can embody and embrace all of this, like the height, the weight, the lips, the eyes, the mannerisms, the thought processes. Like, how do I want to know this dude well. So when I bring him all the places we're about to go, that I know how to leverage. I need to know how do I use this? A lot of us don't even want to be in this. We don't want to be in here. And I think if you take the time to really be in this space and love this, like love all of this, like learn to embrace it, all that doesn't matter.
And when you start to love all this, your health gets better, your relationships get better, it's just everything is in flow, your metabolism. Your appetite
changes.
It totally does. The things you're attracted to on every level, and the things you bring in.
Yeah. My appetite has completely changed for relationships, for people, for love, for literally food. Like it's shifted. I eat different. I go to different places socially. I have very different friends. I feel like I take care of my self-care game is on fleek. So fleek. This one actually taught me a lot about it. You'll never see her wear her toes or her nails not did. She's always dressed to impress. Clean breath, everything's on point. Everything. And I've watched her a few times. I'm like, yo, what? She's always been in a relationship, so I was been like, let me give her some space. But I love this girl so much. I appreciate so much how she shows up. And any of you guys who are watching this content, please go follow her. Please connect with her. She's doing amazing stuff in the world. Practitioner of everything health and of mind, body, and spirit. And just really admire what you're doing and what you're creating in the world. I'm so thankful for you. And it's an honor to be in a relationship with you and to know that you are as committed as you are. And how you keep expanding your territory and like going for it. I see you and I see the future. I see you and I see love. I see light. I see expansion, and it's so beautiful. And I see, more importantly, I see your heart. And that's something I think so many women have become so afraid to show. So afraid to show. And your embodiment of it is just, it's a beautiful reflection, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm receiving that. Thank you.
Yeah, hold that.
Hold that. I'll hold it, marinate of that. And so speaking of legacy that you were kind of alluding to earlier, what do you think your legacy is? And before, like, what I mean by that is when, and I think this is good for everyone to think about, when people think of you or hear your name, what kind of impact do you want to have on your friends and family, the world? Like, what do you want people, like, your essence? That's what I mean by legacy.
I would like people to say, what came to mind immediately, I'll just be vulnerable and authentic in this moment.
Thank you.
Is I want people to see me and say, that's a real man. That's a real man. That's what I want people to say. When I leave here, I want people to know that I was a vulnerable, authentic, and powerful leader. I desire for people to acknowledge that I did the work to transform what it meant to be a man in this world. That I have a footprint in this world. That I shifted the consciousness of leaders and of those who chose to take their life on as well. You know, I want the world to know that I was here. And whether it's through a video that they watch of me, a book, of the many books that I'll write that they'll read of mine, I want them to know that I was here. I want them to know I was here, I made a dent in this thing we call the universe.
It reminds me of the song I Was Here by Beyonce.
Yeah, it's a good song.
By the way, if you have any questions for JuVan before we wrap up, go ahead and type them in. If you're watching this later and you have questions for either one of us, type them in. We will definitely get back to you. And so I'll just leave like an open space. Like, what else is going on with you? What else should we know about JuVan and JuVan's world? Yeah,
one thing I want to say, just those who are watching who come across this content, is I just want to leave a little wisdom.
Yes,
something that was on my mind this morning, and I just want to share. I was going to shoot a video about it. Maybe I still will, but you know, in life we have what are called moments. You and I are having a moment right now, connecting with each other, reconnecting with each other. When you leave here, I'll have another moment with other clients, as will you with your clients. I'll go home tonight and I'll have a moment sitting down watching a movie on Netflix, or maybe catching dinner with a friend. Right? We have a series of moments that we go through, and what I want you to understand is, from now in the future and from now in the past, there was so many moments that we will have gone through in our life. And we focus so much on the moments that have passed and not the moments that we have the ability, the capacity, the potential to create. So the first thing I want to say is, create moments that you yourself desire to reflect upon. The second thing is, be careful not to allow your moments to become your identity. And a lot of times, I think that's what holds a lot of people back. This is what I found doing workshops. I have an online academy, Elevated Academy. You know, I do workshops and trainings globally, and it's a constant. It's threaded and woven and braided into a lot of the stories that I get to receive from people. And it's like, this moment happened, and in that moment, I chose that I decided that I was this, and I decided that I was no longer this. I decided that I could never be this. And it's so important that we don't allow a moment to predict who we become. And for me, I've worked feverishly on reframing a lot of the moments that I've been through that have really defined who I was. And that has made all the difference.
And that, I feel like that goes for better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
So if something bad happened to you, like not being a victim and not letting that moment define who you are, or not being like, what comes to mind is like Al Bundy, or like the cousin Rico, when they're still talking about their football days. Okay, right. That was great that happened to you, but you know, it's time to move on, or have a bunch of other great accomplishments, not just your like high school football days.
For sure.
So you don't want to be either one of those. You want to be this very, because we're dynamic and ever changing and evolving people. So. Can you read that comment that's on yours?
Let's see. You have most definitely made an impact on my life and the lives of many others. Thank you, my friend and my brother. So much love to you, Val. There may have been a few questions in here somewhere. We can only help others by authentically and being true to who we are. Boom, boom, boom. Great insight comments. So yeah, we can. If you guys have any questions,
comments,
a few people, appreciate it. Express and explore. They're kind of quoting me here.
So again, go over the how people can find you.
Yeah, so you guys can check me out online. Everything's at JuVan Langford, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you want to shoot me an email, you want support in some capacity, you can shoot me an email at JuVan@JuVanLangford.com, and I'll be happy to get back to you and connect, and we can express and explore whatever it is that's heaviest in your heart. And if you guys want to follow this lady, those of you who are watching from my feed, how can they follow you?
My Instagram is LaurenClayton_Total Health. We're watching this on Scrumptious Creole Kitchen, so that thing is Scrumptious Creole Kitchen, and that's on Instagram. And then I have a Facebook page for that, which is what we're airing on right now. And then Lauren Clayton Total Health is my website.
Yeah, check her out. She is thebomb.com, literally. Yeah, so much love for you. Appreciate it.
It was so good to see you again. And yeah, we'll have to do more of this, because this was awesome.
We will.
Definitely one of my best interviews ever. Favorite. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're watching this later, comment below if you'd like. And otherwise, we'll see you soon for another episode of Kitchen Table Talk. Bye, guys.
Cheers.